But before all that, it's Leeds against Bradford, and they kick the hectic Easter weekend off. And has there ever been a more intriguing clash of the big two than this? Will it be the last match in charge for Bulls coach Brian Noble, who is wanted by Wigan? Only time will tell. Round 9 to come over the next 24 hours. St Helens are on top, but Leeds will jump them if they win here. Salford steady away in third. The Bulls are fourth with the prospect of a leap if they win here at Headingley. Huddersfield are just ahead of Warrington, that's the sixth. At the bottom, if results conspire against them, i.e. they lose at St Helens, Harlequins and Wakefield win, it could be a very bleak Easter for Wigan, who are stuck at the bottom of the table. Well, the players are out, and Iestyn Harris leads the Bradford Bulls out on a ground that he once graced all those years ago. And there is the man at the centre of all the conjecture, and some would say all the controversy. Is he the man to replace Ian Millward at the Wigan Warriors? It'll be at the back of his mind tonight as Jamie Peacock, one of his former stars, leads out the Leeds Rhinos for this, the most vital of matches in the calendar for Leeds Rhinos and the Bradford Bulls. Match referee is Richard Silverwood. Let's hope he's on top of his game as well. It's a brisk night, it's a bit breezy, and Bradford will be kicking off into the face of that breeze in this first half. Leeds against Bradford, a full house at Headingley. It's sold out over a week ago, and what a match in prospect here. Let's take a check on the way these two sides line up, and there is a big welcome for Jamie Peacock from his former teammates. As Leeds have ball in hand with Chris Feather on the second tackle of this match. He plays it to Millard, who is in the side in place of the injured Matt Diskin. Here come the teams. Mathers is the full-back, then it's Donald on the wing. In the centre, Walker, and he is partnered by Keith Senior. On the other wing, young Danny Williams, because Lee Smith is out. Danny Maguire is the standoff. Rob Burrow, there he is at half-back. Prop Chris Feather, hooker Shane Millard, and Jamie Peacock completes the front row. In the second row, it's Willie Poaching, Ian Kirk, and the loose forward Gareth Ellis. There's no Kevin Sinfield. Ryan Bailey, Ali Lauatiti, Jamie Jones-Buchanan, and Nick Scruton. They are the substitutes for the Leeds Rhinos. Bradford now with ball in hand for the first time. Withers at full-back, Marcus Pye on the wing. The centre partnership is Ben Harris and Shontaine Harpy, and Leslie Vainicolo, of course, is there as well. Iestyn Harris, the standoff and captain. Paul Deacon, the half-back. Stuart Fielden up front. Stanley Jean comes in for the injured Ian Henderson. Andy Lynch, the prop. Chris McKenna, ex-Leeds, in the second row, alongside youngster Brett Ferris. Jamie Langley's the loose forward, and on the bench for them, Vanganar, Carl Price, Watini, and Marcus St Hilaire, another former Leeds man. Great game in prospect, and local bragging rights, and as well for Leeds, of course, the opportunity to go to the top of the table. Scott Donald in possession for them. Steve-O, it started in a rip-roaring manner.
Certainly has, and nearly 2 minutes gone of this game, and I think Bradford have laid down the gauntlet, because the forward power that has been going on to the Leeds when they've been in possession has been quite superb. Leading the way, Langley and Ferris, Chris McKenna, the back three, really mean business.
Here is Willie Poaching for the Leeds Rhinos, who are chasing their 100th home win of Super League's weekly round programme. And they have actually lost only 2 home games under the reign of their coach, Tony Smith. It's a pretty impressive record. As Maguire dabs the ball over the top, that's a poor kick from Danny, and straight into the arms of Leslie Vainicolo. Great tackling, though, by Shane Millard, and look at the big work that's going on here at the Leeds ground. New stand is taking shape, the first significant ground redevelopment since 1932, but they've managed to up the attendance here tonight to over 17,500, despite the fact that one end of the ground is not in use. And those tickets, those prize tickets for this Easter programme match, they were sold out over a week ago. And St Helens against Wigan, by the way, which we will see on Sky Sports on Good Friday afternoon at 12:30, that also is now a complete and utter sellout. Good times. And Wigan, I understand, Phil Clark, have sold 2,500 tickets. Their supporters are very anxious to go to Nosey Road and just see whether Brian Noble, if he does take over, will be taking over a team that has toppled the Saints for the first time this year.
Well, they've a good record over the last 3 years, haven't they? That Good Friday clash, everyone thought that Wigan would falter and an easy win for St Helens. It hasn't been the case, and in fact I think back 12 months, 22 points to 20. Amazing win by a team of unknown players for Wigan. Will it be the case again tomorrow?
In the meantime, though, this is the Rhinos in possession, and that is young Ian Kirk. The ball comes backwards, and it did go backwards. This is Danny Williams. Remember, we saw him in the match at St Helens earlier this season. This is his second appearance of the year. He scored against the Saints that night. Another kick all along the ground, and it bounces into the arms of Leslie Vinacolo, and Scott Donald doing very well and helped out by Chev Walker.
Well, there's a man, Tony Smith, that has obviously come up with a tactics. It's the second occasion that they've kicked towards a big fella, Vinacolo. Remember in the grand final a couple of years ago, they just keep turning the big fella round and round, and late in that, and especially in the final quarter, he was just out on his feet. Obviously they want to do the same tactics, but it really is a game where both sides are just trying to find out how strong they are in the forwards. Not many opportunities of getting the ball out wide.
Not yet. We're in the opening 5 minutes. I wonder what the talk has been around the dressing rooms. Brian Noble, is he going? Is he staying? Maybe Bill Arthur can bring us up to date. Bill?
That's all anybody's been talking about before this game, Eddie. The spectators, fellow journalists, and even one or two players, current players that is, speculating on Brian Noble. But the man himself would not be drawn, interviewed by fellow broadcasters. He was not willing to go into that subject, so he's keeping his own quiet on that particular topic, but there's plenty of speculation about it. Incidentally, a blow for the Bulls before this game with Ian Henderson forced to pull out. He has a virus, and they hoped he was going to be fit, but they had to make a late decision to withdraw him. You spoke about the wind blowing here. It's a bit more than a breeze. It's a gale blowing down this pitch at the back of the Rhinos, but is it maybe the winds of change at Bradford?
Who knows, as Millard dabs the ball over the top, and Michael Withers will have to run this back if he possibly can. Good work again from Chev Walker. Here is Leslie Vinacolo, bounces off Scott Donald, gets away from Walker, but there are three then waiting. Willie Poaching was in there quickly, so too Shane Millard. This, of course, is a repeat of the grand final of the past 2 years, Steve-O.
Beautiful kick there by Rob Barrow. Tony Smith, the Leeds coach, will be happy with that. The first two, a bit obnoxious, really creating no problem for Bradford. This will be interesting. You mentioned that Henderson has had to drop out. Oh, that was a great pass out wide, as we normally get here. The South Standers said it was forward. It wasn't. But will Stanley Jean last the full 80? That's got to be a big question. Obviously, Bradford's coach, Brian Noble, we want to try to interchange him as much as they can.
Wonderful tackle by young Danny Williams.
Eddie, it's worth pointing out to the viewers at home, strong breeze behind the Leeds Rhinos at the moment. It's the reason why Bradford are just kicking it high in the air and trying to get under to challenge for the ball. The Leeds kick's going deeper downfield.
Yes, we call it a breeze up here. Bill says it's a gale down on ground level. And that's a high shot, and it's the first penalty to the Leeds Rhinos, and Chris McKenna, former Rhino, against last year's teammate Gareth Ellis.
You've got to say that this Ellis doesn't half get a lot of knocks in the face. Remember a few years ago it was Stuart Fielder that seemed to attract them, but now it's Ellis.
Here comes Ian Kirk, young second rower, well 25 years of age actually, but he missed last week at Hull. Could be one of the finds of the season. That's a poor pass wide though, and Bradford gobble the ball up in the shape of Chris McKenna.
Well, it was on. They were a little bit lax there, Bradford, on that blind side. And the switch really should have come off. You can see that Senior had overrun it. Golden opportunity just frittered away there.
Second stand.
Bradford in possession then, have lost 2 of the last 4 games. Leeds have won 6 straight, but it will be another tense encounter here. They met 4 times last year, 2 wins apiece. An average score, by the way, or aggregate score, 95-94 in favour of the Bradford Bulls. 8 minutes gone, down to the press benches. Dave Hadfield, you've had plenty to write about this week, Dave.
Certainly have, and Leeds have always missed Kevin Sinfield, haven't they, in recent seasons when he hasn't played. But they've got another natural leader now in Jamie Peacock. He's captaining his side against his old club tonight, as is Iestyn Harris. Like a few of his teammates, he was a bit quiet, a bit flat against Warrington, we thought. He doesn't put many ordinary performances back-to-back, though, and he'll be inspired by playing against Danny Maguire, who's already been our man of the match 3 times at this early stage of the season.
It was a power play then from Bradford, and Ben Harris was caught just a couple of metres short of the line for Bradford. So Leeds having to work it away from their own try line now after the turnover. That's 2 tackles gone. That's Shane Millard, and here comes Chris Feather.
Pretty good that Leeds got back, scrambled back quickly because they were not moving forward. They allowed the Bradford players 15 metres to play around with. They can't afford to do that. That's a good kick. How is the chase?
It was Danny Maguire's kick, and Leslie Vainicolo picks it up. He kicked on tackle number 3 with this wind behind him. You might expect that. Here goes Withers, though, now for Bradford.
Hit the line.
Well, that was good work by Withers and also by the wing of Vainicolo, because you can see there the first tackle was on the 30-metre line. When you get a kick and chase against you, if you can get to the halfway line when you're on about the 4th or the 5th, then you're going to get a good attacking kick.
Here goes Jamie Langley. Scott Donald, though, standing his ground. Scott Donald hasn't scored for 3 matches. And, of course, brought in to replace Mark Calderwood, who's now at Wigan and tryless this year.
I can't believe that, Eddie. 60 metres and they're only on the 4th tackle. I don't know whether the new tactics from this Leeds defence, but instead of going into the faces of it, they're hanging back to see what on earth is going to happen. It's most unlike the Rhinos.
Stanley Jean, the dummy half for Bradford. There's Iestyn Harris. It's a high kick, and Richard Mathers positioned himself very well for that. And it was caught in the breeze a little bit, Harris's kick, and was pushed back towards the Bradford on-rushers, but Mathers took it perfectly.
It's been a brilliant start from Bradford. The disappointment of defeat last week against the Wolves. They've come out here, they've moved the ball around, they've carried the ball vigorously and looked dangerous, and really playing with width is one of the reasons why they are so popular amongst their fans. They love to move the ball wide when they've had that go forward.
Phil, I made the point on Wednesday on Boots and All that Bradford, having had 2 very, very hard games on a really muddy pitch, would look forward to a top-of-the-ground pitch that we've got here at Headingley.
Yeah, and a fast game, a quick game too. I think they've started the better of the 2 sides in the first 10 minutes. But again, this persistent strategy of kicking to Leslie Vainicolo. You know you're going to have to tackle him at least once in a set of 6. So I think their theory is, why don't we get it out of the way at the start?
Interesting, though, that all the kicks have gone low at the moment. They've not gone high. They've not given Leslie Vainicolo anything to do in the air yet.
Well, they know then realise that it is a swirling wind as well. Maybe they'll come to that tactics, but it's little doubt that Tony Smith, he came up, they won the grand final with those tactics, turning the big fella around, trying to tire him.
This is once again Jamie Langley, who has looked very impressive this year, the Bradford Bulls loose forward. Stanley Jean, he gets it away to Deacon, who finds Harris, and quickly out it goes to McKenna. Good ball then from McKenna to Ben Harris, cut down by Williams and Senior. Iestyn Harris, the dummy half. Back it comes to Deacon. Here's another kick, and it comes out wide. Well, it was attempted to come out wide, but that's held in the wind again. Oh, and Chev Walker went for it and missed it completely, but Rob Burrow tied it up, fortunately for Leeds.
Good job he was hanging around. It just bounced superbly for him. It could have gone anywhere. But this is the 4th occasion that Bradford are really battering this Leeds outfit in their own quarter.
Shane Millard, inspired signing by Tony Smith this year. His first start of the season, 8 previous appearances in Super League as a substitute. This is Big Ali Lauatiti. He's just come on for Willie Poaching, and Millard finds Maguire, and Maguire will go down the middle this time to former Leeds Rhinos teammate Marcus Bai, the Papua New Guinea international, very popular with the players here over the past 2 seasons, and indeed with the supporters, Marcus Bai.
And in the 12-minute mark in the Emerald League, just significant time. You can tend to run continuously for about 12 minutes before you find that a lot of players have to stop and take a rest. 1 or 2 of the Bradford players just working their way back slowly, and maybe Leeds have seen off that early challenge that the Bulls always provide against their opponents.
It's Stanley Jean again. He finds Paul Deacon, and his pass gets to the arms of Iestyn Harris, and now it's McKenna who slipped one net, but that's great defence from Senior, and Senior, well, he tried to force him over the touchline wide but couldn't. Marcus Bai. Here's Harris, misses out 1 or 2, and it bounces kindly in the end for Stanley Jean. And it's a penalty. It's a penalty to Bradford.
I've got the call, you're offside, mate.
Didn't quite hear the call from the referee.
I think it's offside, Eddie.
And Harris has taken it quickly.
Well, they're all at sea. Leeds in defence.
Leslie Vainicolo, the big man powering his way to the line. And Leeds, it takes 4 to stop him under the sticks. That's how close Bradford are here with Deacon. Deacon to Stanley Jean. It goes to Michael Withers, who goes for broke. Offloads brilliantly. Stanley Jean. First try to the Bradford Bulls. Stanley Jean. The champions off and running. It's been a wonderful start to this match for them. And Bradford. And Stanley Jean, the man who is filling in for Ian Henderson at hooker. He played under Tony Smith at Huddersfield. And Stanley Jean has come up with the first try of the match.
And not surprisingly, because it's been Bradford Bulls that have really applied the pressure. There is something radically wrong with the attitude of this Leeds defence. It is all at sea. Wonderful offload by Michael Withers. He really does step up to the mark, this fella, doesn't he? Sucks in the 3 would-be defenders. Stanley Jean, he will be happy with that. Wonderful effort. And Tony Smith knows he has a problem here. They are all at sea, their defence. Whoa!
Well, a similar story we see with Bradford. The penalty gets them up there, and the number of times we see Bradford score with a play the ball on their opponent's line, it's when they're at their best. They're shifting the ball, they're going down the right-hand channel, and they're being successful at it.
Great try for Stanley Jean. 31 years of age, he admits to, ever present, but a sub in 9 of 10. And now Paul Deacon to try and add the extras into this stiff wind, which he does. And the Bradford Bulls are ahead by 6 points to 0. The try from Jean and the kick from Paul Deacon.
Well, there you see, 3 defenders, they're all looking at Jean. You've got to spread out. Senior had gone up, he had to do it, but again, 3 men, goes for the fullback Michael Withers, and bang, this fella goes in for the 4.
Much talk before the match about the future of Brian Noble. Is this a message from the Bradford players to Brian? Don't go, Nobby.
I think they followed the message that he's given them, which is shift the ball to the right side and let's attack Senior and Maguire. If we can't get past Maguire, we want to try and take some juice out of him because he's the most dangerous runner with the ball on the field. And in fact, they've been so successful going down that side of the field. It's what took them into that try-scoring position. Really impressive start from them. But Eddie, I think we thought that that would be the way they begin after losing last week. Can they maintain this intensity for 80 minutes?
Well, the thing that I can't understand, Eddie, is that when you've got such a strong wind behind you, right, you would think that it would be Leeds that would be controlling the game. When it comes to positional play, it's the other way around.
This is Iestyn Harris who floats it wide to Chris McKenna. And Steve McNamara is the heir apparent. He is the heir apparent of the Bradford Bulls coaching department. And they said in the papers today, yes, Wigan have got the permission to talk to Brian Noble. His future is up in the air, in Bradford's own words. If he goes, and here goes Millard, we'll come back to that in a moment, and Millard finds Maguire.
It's got to be a penalty. Maguire was taken out without the football, and he's screaming at the official.
This is Rob Burrow, goes wide to Keith Senior, and Senior offloads to Burrow. It comes back this way once again. Here is Ian Kirk. Plays the ball to Burrow. Burrow to Gareth Ellis. Gareth Ellis up the middle. That's tackle number 4. They have 2 remaining this set of 6, and Shane Millard finds Rob Burrow, and Burrow finds Lauatiti, and Lauatiti gives it to Chev Walker. That's a good tackle by Shontaine Harpy. Last tackle here, and hang on.
Will they give it? Oh, Walker looks in a lot of trouble. Will they give it high to you, Eddie? No.
All on the ground. Oh, brilliantly tidied up by Iestyn Harris. Lauatiti gets to him in the end and brings him down.
He was certainly pulled back there by Iestyn Harris. You could see that the shirt was definitely pulled, not seen by the touch judges, certainly not seen by the man with the whistle, Richard Silverwood.
But you know, it was significant. Bradford's scramble was good. Far better than last week against Warrington when their line was broken. Everybody worked hard to get back, and here goes Jean from acting halfback position. When Leeds make a break on you, Eddie, you need everybody working at full speed to try and get back and help out.
Just back to that point I was trying to make before the break about the succession of the Bradford Bulls. If McNamara does take the step up, if Brian Noble does go to Wigan, Bradford say they're doing a Liverpool in the 60s and 70s from the soccer days when they just had a succession of new managers who stepped into the breach. And they have always done it, actually, haven't they, over the recent past, Bradford?
They certainly have. They've always had the confidence of the assistant coach to step up to the plate, and they've been successful with it.
Well, Brian Noble started as number 3, took over from Matthew Elliott, became number 2. And Matthew Elliott then went on, and Brian Noble was ready to take control himself. And it's been a glorious reign for Noble, even if it does come to an end in the near future. But who knows?
Well, all I can say is that if he does go to Wigan, it is a very, very brave man, Brian Noble, taking on. A lot of players have tried to do it. A lot of coaches, should I say, have tried to do it.
That's got to be a penalty.
Yeah, it is. He's lost his composure there, Shantae Harpy.
Tackle was completed here.
Yeah, the ball carrying arms hit the deck and it had stopped. It's got to be a penalty. Well done, Richard Silverwood. But as I say, Eddie, getting back to that point, you know, we've had, 10 coaches that have tried in the past 10 years to try to turn it all around. Brian obviously feels he can do it, but all the others felt the same way, surely.
Millard finds Walker, and Leeds looking to get over that line, but that's terrific. Bradford defence once again. Remember, this is, as I said, a repeat of the last 2 grand finals. Leeds won 2004, Bradford won last year. Leeds looking for revenge here. Mathers, wonderful step, and hauled down by rigorous Bradford defence.
Good play by Withers in defence there, and helping out was Chris McKenna.
It goes wide. Ellis back to Maguire. Oh, brilliantly off the deck as Withers pulled him down. And here is Ian Kirk again. Millard comes in at dummy half. Comes this way and finds Jamie Peacock, whose last act as Bradford's captain was to lift the Super League trophy at Old Trafford last year. Millard, looping pass.
Gone for the power play.
It's with Senior, and wide it goes to Williams. That's great defence again from Bradford.
That'll be the turnover. 2 power plays, 1 from either side so far in the opening 20 minutes. This is really building up to a classic of a game. Little doubt in my mind also over the last 10 minutes, Tony Smith has got the message out. Come on, fellas, we can't hang back and allow Bradford any room to move. They are now getting into the faces. They're a little bit slow to get going.
No Diskin, no Smith, no Sinfield tonight, and more injury woes for Leeds, I understand. Bill.
Well, early blow to their plans with Willie Poaching having to lead the field after only 8 minutes, and it looks as though it was a shoulder injury for Poaching, went straight to the dressing room. Meanwhile, that's Chev Walker going down, and he was injured in that tackle as well. He's waved the physio away, but he doesn't appear to be moving that comfortably as well. Poaching, meanwhile, has got ice on the shoulder.
There's a break on here from McKenna. He's got Michael Withers. Oh, Senior does so well. Senior did so well then. That's the last tackle, and here is Deacon. They have an overlap wide, and Deacon,
forward.
He was flattened in that tackle.
He sort of was in between 2 minds whether to throw the dummy. Quick thinking, knew it was on the last. Yeah, he tried to...
Richard Mathers.
Yeah, he tried to suck Mathers in, which he did. Didn't half take a knock, but beautiful break there by McKenna.
They had 3-on-1 down the right-hand side, didn't they?
Good
Something about this Easter period, Steve, that brings the best out of the players. We get the best crowds coming to the games, and the players really lift, don't they, to another level. The goal line defence from both sides in the last few minutes, really amazing. That effort to the pride, really, to keep your line intact has been the difference between these 2 teams scoring.
And Richard Mathers says, come on, we'll just have the ball down the other end of the field. That's going to stay, though. We're in the field of play. As it turns out, it's a great kick. Withers with work to do, and the chase was led. This is Marcus Spy looping past to Leslie Vinacolo, and it was Jamie Jones-Buchanan there who was leading the chase for that kick downfield. Just on for Ian Kirk.
Well, it was certainly a good kick by the full-back, but I must say, only on the left-hand side did the Rhinos really charge him down. You could see that when they brought it back into the middle, a little bit light on this right-hand side. Good defence there, Littleborough. They need to be.
Eddie, I think Leeds know as well. Bradford rarely score from deep. and Leeds players probably back themselves over a 50-metre race. So if they can keep the Bradford Bulls away from their own line, they might think that they're safe.
Withers gives the ball in field to McKenna. He helps it on to Vangenaar. It looked like that might have been a little forward, but Vangenaar gets them over halfway line on the last tackle. Stanley Jean will give it back to Deacon. Here's the kick, and it's high towards the corner, and Scott Donald allows it to bounce kindly for him. Mathers wants it in centre field. Donald takes it on to be met by Justin Harris.
Okay, back up, jump.
Well, the kicking game from Bradford has been quite superb. Time and time again, the yellow and blue shirts have just been banged way down in their own quarter, and it's taken Leeds a long time to get to the halfway line. Bradford have been doing it in the second and even the third tackle.
Millard gets to his feet, plays the ball to Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Here is Rob Burrow, and that is the number 26, Danny Williams. He knows the way to the try line, this young man. It's with Jamie Peacock now. Vangenaar gets to him, claws him down on the last tackle. Millard and Maguire, up it goes into the air. Leslie, this is one to deal with up top, deals with it confidently. Gets away from Bailey, almost gets away from Maguire. Bailey comes back to help out Shane Millard and complete the tackle. Stanley Jean, Marcus Bai, Withers, hold up the middle for Withers, looks for support. Lost it forward. Millard to Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Here is Gareth Ellis.
He's not right, Millard. He's picked up a knock.
Well, earlier on, Joe Vangenaar led into the tackle with a raised arm and caught him right in the throat. Wasn't seen by the officials, and Millard just stood his ground for a while and looked in real pain. But he's carrying on. There he is at dummy half. It's now with Maguire. Here is Peacock. Peacock stands and eventually has to take the tackle. Tackle number 3, but they're 10 metres away from the line. Peacock will get to his feet, plays it to Millard. Here is Rob Burrow. Burrow to Ali Lauatiti. Lauatiti gets it away. Risky business, but Maguire does ever so well. Dances out of the would-be challenge. Maguire running laterally, gives the ball on the bounce to no one.
Well, he was looking, and to be fair to Maguire, he's running across, and when you do that, you've got to make sure that you get someone coming back on the inside. It leaves him totally exposed. You've got to try to confuse the defence, and no one did. The teamwork's not there at the moment for the Rhinos.
Danny Maguire, Player of the Month, Super League's top try scorer with 13 touchdowns so far this season. In fact, Leeds have scored 50 tries in just 8 rounds. But it's the Bradford Bulls, the champions of the Engage Super League, who lead here after 26 minutes of the first half. The opening match, of course, of a very hectic weekend of Easter matches. And there is Kevin Sinfield cutting a fairly disconsolate figure on the sideline. And he's alongside his coach, Tony Smith, who would love to have the skipper out there, I'm sure, a match of this importance. Here is Fielden.
Not a lot of running from dummy half by the Bradford side. Getting that first receiver out wide, giving it plenty of air at the moment.
And Stanley Jean, left-footed, that's to nobody in particular, but it's bouncing awkwardly, and Scott Donald took control of the situation, escaped one net, but there were the reinforcements there. It's Adam Martini, who was working the man all over the place.
Well, that is the reason why a lot of coaches really lose their cool.
Great tackle initially, but then this.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. He's just given away 30 metres.
This is the danger set here now from a Bradford point of view. Leeds, we've seen Maguire and Burrow running cross-field. They are quick, dangerous, and incredibly elusive. So here's the test now. He's just starting to tire, approaching the halfway mark. How do you handle the big forwards like Lauatiti when they come straight at you? And what do you do when the little guys go sideways?
It's a great drive from Lauatiti. Here is Shane Millard. Held up just a metre or so short of the line. Nick Scruton at dummy half will fire the ball into the arms of Maguire, who comes back this way, dancing again, Maguire, and it goes left. Oh, and Richie Mathers. It's an absolute gift for Justin Harris. Here is Ben Harris. Oh, and he's lost it now.
Let's play on.
It is play on, it's Williams. Well, that was
He drops it from both sides.
It was comedy of errors.
That is pressure.
Ryan Bailey for Leeds. Shane Millard. He backed himself then, Millard, but the Bradford defence would not be fooled. And Maguire is there, scheming at dummy half. Back it comes to Rob Burrow. And Burrow changes the direction again, the little fella. And one of the biggest, Stuart Fielden, makes sure he doesn't make progress to the line. Here is Maguire again. Short ball, lost again. And picked up by Ferris, and an important ankle tap there by Danny Williams.
Brilliant defence from Bradford on their own line there. Leeds throwing everything at them. See them score all these different ways, but their effort on their own line, impressive. And an impressive effort from Stanley Jean. He played about 28 minutes then, just gone off the field, replaced by Carl Price. And this is now the interesting element that Steve-O's talked about. Only one recognised hooker really in the Bradford 17 today. It looks as though Deacon and Harris will share the hooking duties, or the acting halfback duties, with Jean off the field.
This is Carl Price. We'll see his brother Leon in the colours of St Helens tomorrow against Wigan. Deacon to Watini. Watini on halfway finds Withers, who is spun to the ground eventually on the last. And Deacon will put the kick in towards the corner. Mathers is after this, but that will surely run dead in goal, and it does, but only just. Deacon is scheming all the way. Interesting, you know, with Ian Millwood out of the game at the moment, only Brian Noble and Tony Smith have won grand finals at Old Trafford out of the current crop of Super League coaches, and we've got them both on duty here tonight.
Well, they're going down like flies, aren't they? You know, what's going to happen next week?
It's been a volatile 7 days in the Super League season, there's no doubt about that.
It's amazing. A lot of my mates were saying to me that, you know, it's been pretty quiet this year, hasn't it? That it's exploded. Talking about explosion, Brett Ferris on the Bradford side is in a real mess. He took a bad knock and received treatment backwards. There's another Bradford player down, injured.
It's Shontaine Harpy who is down. He went in a collision.
Oh, that was high. And it was Ferris that went high on him.
It was Chev Walker who stood his ground, and Shontaine Harpy hit the deck.
Well, to be fair to Walker, he didn't move, he just stood there.
This is Rob Burrow. Now it's with Danny Maguire. And he finds Jamie Jones-Buchanan.
It is. Stood his ground.
Gareth Ellis for Leeds. Richard Mathers, the full-back, chiming in.
Well, they're giving him plenty of air, the Rhinos, but they've got to run off the ball. Look at that. Come on, you've got to give him some help.
Oh, great run from Burrow, and he does a forward roll. Terrific stuff from little Rob Burrow. Shane Millard waits dummy half. 4 tackles gone. It's Maguire. Lauatiti! He can't get the arm out. Last tackle here. Burrow again. And Burrow stabs it to the in goal, and it's knocked over the dead ball line. It's going to be a goal line dropout.
Tremendous little kick from Burrow there. Did the forward roll, continue on, then got himself into a good position, make sure that they got consecutive set of 6. And this is what it's all about, applying the pressure. Good work back. This is rough and tough, but it's classic. There's some really great skills on show at the moment.
And Rob Burrow trying all he knows to get through Brian Noble's defensive guard on their own line. Here's the first goal line dropout. And it was Nick Scruton who will run it back for the Rhinos. Past Fielden, but not past the next two.
Psychologically, Leeds have to get a try in this half. They know they're going to be up against it. Bradford have got some good kickers out there, and they'll utilise the big wind in the second half.
Senior, such a difficult character to put down. Here is Ryan Bailey. Strong run from Ryan Bailey. Watini again all over the top of the grounded player. Millard finds Ellis, pops it up to Maguire. Maguire trying to go inside Jamie Langley, but can't. And Maguire eventually has to take the tackle. Millard again, scampers away. Oh, great ball!
What a try!
Oh, Gareth Ellis with the try, but it was the pass that made it off the deck. A fantastic ball off the deck. Gareth Ellis, a timely intervention here for his first try of the season. Leeds pipped Bradford to his signature when he left Wakefield a couple of years ago, and he scored under the sticks, and what a ball this was.
It certainly was absolutely superb. I can't see who it was. Flicked it straight away. It was Millard. Millard, the hooker.
Jamie Jones
It's
Buchanan.
Jamie Jones Buchanan, yeah. Either way, it was out of the top drawer. Ellis in the good support play. It needed to have something very special indeed, because this Bradford defence has been nothing short of outstanding.
And there's a problem here for Chris McKenna, injured in the build-up to that Gareth Ellis try, and Dr. Chris Brooks looks like he wants a little bit of help for Chris McKenna. Was it the tackle by McKenna on Jamie Jones Buchanan? There's obviously a problem here, and it was. He got a heavy bang, but what a ball off Jamie Jones Buchanan to Gareth Ellis. That is skill out of the top drawer. Well, McKenna has paid the price. It's a nasty bang he's got to his face, and he is on his way off the field. It was a brave tackle, but Ellis with the try, and Rob Burrow from bang in front to level the scores here at Headingley. A vital role as kicker now in the absence of Kevin Sinfield for 4 or 5 weeks, and Rob Burrow doesn't make mistakes from in front. It's 6 apiece.
As I said before, it needed something special. Jamie Jones Buchanan, just as he was rolling onto the floor, flicked it up for Ellis.
Well, the skill again, it was a close range try. The skill you talk about from Jamie Jones Buchanan, but the support play, very often players don't support the man with the ball, and they don't take advantage when those balls are popped up. Ellis made the effort to support the ball carrier and deserved the try.
So Deacon gets us underway again, and Maguire is underneath the kickoff.
Well, that'll be a great relief for the Rhinos.
Here's Scruton for them.
They knew that they were getting battered in the forwards, and they were also allowing Bradford plenty of movement out wide.
And Stanley Jean has returned for Bradford, notice, because McKenna has had to go off. That was a nasty bang that he picked up, Chris McKenna. Andy Lynch returning as well. Maguire. Bailey. Stopped by Carl Price. Maguire. Down the middle of the field. Withers will pick it up. Oh, eventually. Just flicked the ball towards his own post, and that little fumble put every one of the Leeds chasers onside. Stanley Jean. Here they come again, Bradford, with Brett Ferris. Stanley Jean again. Langley, oh, good stuff. Harpy. Burrow and Donald with the tackle. Stanley Jean once more.
Tremendous work by the Bradford pack, you know, they're getting over that advantage line. They're eager, they're certainly up for it.
Deacon. Harris took it on the fly. Ball down. Last tackle, just over halfway with Michael Withers. Here's Deacon again, shaping for the kick, gets the kick in. And that was flicked at by Richard Mathers. So again, that puts all the Bradford players onside. And Fielden had to put a very good tackle in, which he did. Now it's Keith Senior. Harris was after him. Carl Price is after him. So too Marcus Pye. I think they know the danger that Keith Senior poses. And remember, it was in a fixture here last year against the Bradford Bulls when Joe Vangenaar put in what was arguably the most crucial tackle of the year for Leeds, because it put Keith Senior out of the rest of the campaign virtually. He limped on to the Challenge Cup final, and he really did not appear again.
This has been a real crunch game. I've enjoyed every minute of it so far.
Nice little kick from Millard, this.
Oh, it's at the post as well.
Big Leslie Vinacolo picks it up and is greeted by his big New Zealand teammate, Ali Lauatiti.
But you know, both sides are really just starting to slow down. It's been such a hectic pace. Kick and chase, get into it. Some really crunched forward work, some heavy tackles.
The ball's been in play for 32, nearly 33 minutes, and we've been in progress 36 and a half, so there is no rest for the wicked in the Super League.
You'd like to know what these players are thinking now. Are they thinking, let's survive, let's hang on in there, or are they thinking, can we score before half-time?
It's Harris. High kick. Donald watches it. Takes it forward again. Phil, was it as quick as this when you were playing? Because you played it a little bit later in your life compared to this fellow alongside us.
It doesn't seem it. I mean, it seems, sorry, the game seems far quicker now than when I played. It was a 10-metre rule, but I'm sure the skills and the strategies that the sides took into it weren't as advanced and developed as what these two teams have. It seems as though Leeds have targeted Deacon and Harris whenever they've had the ball. Here's the ball flicked back here now. Will Vainikolo get to it first?
Yes, he does, but he knocks it on.
That'll be a head and feed to Leeds because that was that new interpretation of the would-be man going into the tackle, which was whilst Mathers was trying to offload the ball. They can see it, so that is play on up until that point. And then, well,
yes, he did. He got a fingertip to it.
I know that, but did Scott Donald perhaps give him a little bit of a ride on the bucking Bronco before he touched the ball?
I was going to be just a touch critical of Donald because he seemed to be ambling after the loose ball, but he knew what he was doing because he backed Lesley Vainikolo to make the mistake. Here is Senior. Oh, he's away from Carl Price. But not for long. Marcus Bai did well.
Great recovery there. Price knew that he'd come out of that line, but he was quick to turn around, get himself involved.
This is Jamie Jones Buchanan.
Boy, he's been tough, Eddie.
Rob Burrow, Shane Millard takes it on again.
I can't remember the last time we had a scrum.
We've had one in the first half, that's all. Burrow, Lauatiti, opens up a little for Lauatiti. Harris and Stanley Jean close the hole.
Well, there we see yet again, you know, Maguire and Burrow, they're running and scampering across on angles, but no one is trying to run off the ball.
This is Mathers again. Last tackle here for Leeds with Millard to Maguire. It's a good ball.
It was on.
And Marcus Bai has it back for Bradford.
Well, he came off Jamie Jones Buchanan with a beautiful pass that allowed Ellis to go underneath the sticks. Tried a little bit too fancy there.
He tried to do a Jamie Lyon.
Yep. He's nearly in for his second try, that's for sure.
Stanley Jean from dummy half.
They'll be happy, Bradford, now to just go into lemons or oranges or whatever they have at half-time.
Cup of tea, isn't it? Last minute of the first half.
I don't think they take tea these days. I think they've moved on a little bit.
Agua Syngas, will it be?
Oxygen, I think, at this rate they're playing.
This is Lesley Vainikolo. That's out on the full.
Oh, that's rather surprising. Leeds will want to get this pack, or will they, formed as quickly as possible.
I'm sure that was out on the full.
Yeah, looked it. Either way, they've got away with it. Leeds are saying, oh, we'll go to the... No. Ellis has not put his head in, so they'll be quite happy.
Here's the kick from Justin Harris.
He's gained another 10 metres.
Did he actually drop kick this? Yeah, bounced in front of him.
Makes no difference, Eddie.
No, it came off his foot into the ground and then out, so it's a good decision from touch judge and referee. On the fall, it's out, isn't it? A chip down the wing from Gareth Ellis. Lesley Vainikolo's after this, made a mess of it.
A real meal, he's got back in time.
He does all right in the end. That's the half-time siren. Neat little bit of play from Gareth Ellis down the line. The South Standers have seen their team weather the storm. It was a Gareth Ellis try that levelled up the effort in the 14th minute from Stanley Jean. We've had a goal and a try apiece. We've got 6 points each here at Headingley, as Leeds, as they traditionally do, come off as a group. But Leeds back in the match. Look at that pass from Jamie Jones Buchanan. 6-all. It is the start of a very hectic Easter programme for the stars and coaches of Super League, and it's Leeds 6, Bradford 6, as we await the appearance of the Rhinos for this second half on a very chilly Thursday night at Headingley. Here they come. 6 apiece. The Leeds Rhinos averaging 35 points per game, and they're on course to notch 1,000 points in the season for a third year running under Tony Smith. No wonder they're packing them in here. No Sinfield though, out for up to 6 weeks. He missed 5 last year. Leeds won 4 of them though. Kevin Sinfield is Super League's leading goal kicker and point scorer, but there's the competition's leading try scorer, Danny Maguire, the player of the month. 13 tries, 11 in Leeds' last 5 matches, but so far he has drawn a blank here tonight. Leeds will attack in the second half from right to left as we watch. And referee Mr. Richard Silverwood blows the whistle and Mathers gets us underway again. Remember, Leeds now in the second half playing with the wind in their faces.
Certainly will be an advantage to the Bradford side. Will they utilise it early? Will they start kicking on maybe the third or the fourth tackle?
Well, with Deacon and Harris and co, you would think so, wouldn't you?
Well, also, will they start attacking this Leeds left-hand side?
Stuart Fielden, difficult man to put down, and he got a hand off into the face of Gareth Ellis.
Oh, he tried to milk a penalty, got away with it.
Here's Deacon, flicks it back to Harris. It's opened up for Iestyn Harris. Well, it did briefly, but Nick Scruton scragged him to the ground. He plays the ball to Stanley Jean. Now it's with Paul Deacon. Drifts wide to Ferris, and further wide on that far side to Shontaine Harpy. Donald and Burrow doing well. Stanley Jean once again going down the short side, stabbing the ball towards the in-goal area. Richard Mathers was there, and he tidies up for the Leeds Rhinos. Oh, and he gets away first time from Harpy. And a good job that Harpy just slid the arms down the legs and brought him down. Jamie Jones-Buchanan now for Leeds.
Second move.
Millard waits at dummy half.
Surrender.
And Richard Mathers with a bit of a problem with the left leg, maybe, a bit of a limp. Here is Ellis again, try scorer for the Rhinos in that first half.
Once again, we see the little fella Rob Barrow taking the first receiver. He's the man that they'll try to utilise as a springboard. He got a little bit of knock there.
Yes, he did. He's hurt, Burrow, as he gets back to his feet. He plays the ball gingerly. It comes back to Maguire, and Leeds running it here with Mathers. Dabs the ball behind Marcus Bai. Mathers is after it. Mathers is after it and gets Marcus Bai. That's a great bit of run, a bit of work there from the Leeds full-back. Let's go down to the sideline. And Bill, I think he's got Ian Henderson with him, hasn't he, Bill?
That's right, Eddie. Ian sitting this one out with a combination of a virus and a hamstring. No short measures on the Bulls side. It's a really hard game to call this, isn't it, at 6 each?
Yeah, it certainly is. Even though we've got a couple of guys out, coming a couple of Leeds, playing these guys, it's always going to be a hard challenge in that. So,
what do you reckon the priority is in the second half?
Keep hold of the ball, just do what we did in the first half, match their forwards, keep spreading the ball like we do, but just playing well. I think if we keep playing the same way we did the first half, we'll get them on the 80th minute, yeah.
And it's about taking chances. I mean, both sides have bombed a chance or two each.
Yeah, it's mate, like you say, it's up and down, it's been close, so it's just hard to tell. But whoever keeps a hold of the ball and keeps muscling up in the forwards, I think we'll get the leverage to put it out wide.
Cheers, Ian.
Electrifying run for a moment from Danny Williams. Halted though by the Bradford challenge. Here is Keith Senior.
Eddie, I just looked at the individual tackle counts as we came back to the television gantry from the studio. Harris and Deacon have done as many in the first half as they've averaged in an entire match so far this season. That's obviously Leeds' strategy, to go at them, tire the juice, and maybe even see them as a weak link in the defensive line.
That's a great strip by Ben Harris.
Back to 6.
But they have got it back. Leeds have it back.
Good work by Millard. He was really quick to dive onto that football.
So it's 6 to go here for the Leeds Rhinos, and they're 20 metres away, and another 6 coming up because they have the penalty. And Stuart Fielden is penalised for grabbing hold of the man around the neck. The man being Ryan Bailey.
Yep. Grapple tackle. I think they'll stick it into the corner, or just a tap. And they have taken the quick tap on Maguire.
Yes, they're not interested in 2. They're looking for 6 here, the Rhinos. Scruton gets to his feet, plays the ball to Shane Millard. Here is Gareth Ellis, and Ellis will drive towards the line again. just stands, will take the tackle. The referee says it's completed standing up. Ferris eventually lets him go. Millard back to Maguire. Maguire gives it to Jamie Jones-Buchanan. He was meeting a Bradford sandwich then. Maguire again. Looping pass to Millard. Millard attacking the line. Back it goes to Burrow. Stuck to his fingers there somehow. And Burrow sees a little gap. Darts underneath them, or tries to. Langley stops him with Fielden again. Plays the ball. Millard. Back it comes to Maguire. Maguire to Senior. And Senior got the pass away, but it was a little risky, to say the least. Now then, hang on. I think this is going to be knock-on against Bradford. The referee wants a word with the touch judge.
Well, Senior trying to flick him back. He certainly came off by, and that means he must be offside.
It's Headingley to the Rhinos. They've said that is a knock-on by Marcus Pye.
Yeah, but what about the offside as well? Certainly, Price has come up with it. It's come off by, and he's in front of the man. So, either way, they've got possession.
They have Leeds, and what can they do with it? With Mathers. And Mathers is gobbled up by Iestyn Harris, who wasn't terribly impressed with the awarding of that scrum fee to Leeds. Here is Maguire. Now it's with Jamie Jones-Buchanan again.
If there's one person out there on the Leeds side that can break down this defence, it is Richard Mathers. He's in top form.
Miller. Burrow. And Burrow scampering runners. Typical. Burrow! Oh, that's fantastic. That is a terrific little run from Rob Burrow, and that is a fabulous try. He's not the biggest in stature, but boy, has he got a heart of a lion, this young man. And he just ducked underneath the challenges then, and he's got such a low centre of gravity that he's so difficult to put down. And Burrow just scampered and prized and came up with a try.
Tremendous effort. Leeds fortunate. Senior trying to get the offload. Okay, they got a head and feet at the scrum, and from that position, you're right, Eddie. He is very, very low to the ground. Throws the dummy. They went a little bit too high. Deegan couldn't get to him. You know, this is a guy that's had to step up to the plate tonight. They're without Kevin Sinfield, the man that usually pushes them around the park. He's taken that responsibility. He has run himself to water, and he's come up trumps with a 4.
Well, a 50-50 decision went in the favour of the Rhinos, and they've taken advantage to start this second half. The speed, as we've seen from Rob Burrow, running crossfield just too quick for Deacon, and a perfect start for Leeds in what's going to be a very, very tough second half.
So Burrow, the try scorer, and with the goal-kicking responsibilities because Kevin Sinfield is out injured. And this is a big kick for Burrow. Oh, he's judged it to perfection. He sliced that over the top of the crossbar. He allowed for the wind and it drifted back. And it's 12-6 Rhinos.
I spoke about in the first half that Leeds were not using the dummy runner. They did on that occasion. It was just a split-second moment for the defence to hesitate. You could see that Paul Deacon had just gone out of that position, just sufficient enough to allow that gap to be a little bit wider. And the little halfback has made them pay. Game on.
They've sent big guys running at Deacon for almost 50 minutes in this match, and sooner or later it had to take its toll. He's had to work so hard in defence that when challenged by Burrow on the outside, he didn't quite have the energy to get there.
We saw Chris McKenna leave the field with blood from the mouth in the first half, and Bill has news.
And it's sad news for Chris McKenna, and I have to say when he left the field he got a big round of applause from the Leeds fans as well. Of course, he was a very popular player in his time here at Headingley, and the news is that McKenna seems to have broken his jaw. He's going to have to go for an x-ray, but the fear is that Chris McKenna does have a broken jaw. That
is awful news for Chris McKenna. That's a great ball though to Nick Scruton. Here come Leeds.
Great work from Ellis. Upper body strength really has improved since he's joined this Leeds outfit.
This is the last tackle and Leeds are running it again. It's with Senior, and Senior, straight into the face of Jamie Jones-Buchanan, and it was accidental offside, and Jamie Jones-Buchanan won't be happy with that. Keith Senior's got a grin across his face, but it was in his chest actually, not in his face. Wouldn't like to think that Jamie
I think
Jones
he did his
is...
chest first, but I think he may have just taken a bit of the ricochet off the jaw region.
I wouldn't like to think that Jamie Jones's boyish good looks were ruined by that.
Second stand.
He seems okay.
Bradford haven't had any good ball for a few minutes now, have they? And it's how they're recovering this set. They've had to do some hard work in defence, and they need to come forward with a bit of impact. Joe Vangener just coming now off the subs bench to try and provide that impact for them. Offloading in their own half, trying to get away forward. Maybe it's here with Price.
They might do here with Carl Price. He gets away from little Rob Burrow. Can't get away from Senior though.
Did well though, made sure he didn't go towards the whitewash, and that's a quick play of the ball. Wonderful effort there from Marcus Pye. This is where they can set up.
Halted by Jamie Jones Buchanan, last tackle. Michael Withers, dummy half. Here is Justin Harris. Infield it comes to Paul Deacon, and wide it goes, and this is Langley, and it was knocked forward by Shontaine Harpy. And so often the Harpy-Vinacolo combination comes up trumps for Bradford.
Yeah,
not on this occasion.
He just overshot the mark, but they were very, very fortunate there. You can see that Lauatiti had come right out of that one line of defence. They had the overlap. Would have been try time. Oh, don't tell me there's problem for the big fella as well.
More
Bradford
injury
going
news.
through the walls.
More injury news, Bill.
The problems are mounting for the Bulls because Ben Harris has just left the field. I'm not sure what the problem is, but there is a problem. He's gone straight to the dressing room, a shake of the head. The team doctor went with him. Leslie Vinacolo just gingerly walking up the touchline at the moment, breaking into a jog. So they really are under pressure now. They've lost McKenna already. Harris is off, and the Rhinos are putting more pressure on them.
They're putting more pressure on themselves, Bradford, because that's a needless penalty given away by Shontaine Harpy.
Sheer frustration here. Good work from Shane Millard. He's had a fine game.
They've hardly missed Diskin, and that's a testimony to Millard.
Well, that's the reason why Tony Smith made sure that he brought Shane Millard, experienced player, into the camp at Headingley, and he's repaid his faith.
Here's Bailey. Now it's with Peacock. What would Jamie Peacock give for a try against the Bradford Bulls tonight? He's 10 metres away as he plays the ball to Maguire. Maguire to Jamie Jones Buchanan. And there's a chance here. They've got it all on to keep young Danny Williams out. They do, but there are still 3 tackles remaining. It's with Senior on the bounce to Maguire. Here now is Mathers, and Mathers gives it to Chris Feather, one of the big men. And he will go straight towards the posts. Can he get the pass away? Oh, Feather! Great run from Chris Feather.
Will Millard go on his own, throw the dummy, dip the shoulder?
He's come this way, he finds Peacock, who is hauled down on the last, right in front of the posts. Millard waits, out it goes to Burrow. Here is Maguire, there's the kick. They're going to get another set of 6. Leslie Vinacolo grounds the ball in the in-goal area. Goal line drop out here for Bradford.
That's all they need to do, apply that pressure, and they're doing it very, very well indeed. Tony Smith, the Leeds coach, realising that Bradford would have the advantage of the win, but if they can keep them down in their own quarter...
He looks like he's got a poke in the eye, Leslie Vinacolo, doesn't he? He's got trouble with the vision. And the goal line dropout arrives eventually at halfway, and Maguire, here goes Feather again. You get the feeling, Phil, the petrol is just dropping in the Bradford tank.
It is, and the other thing I said last week on Sky Sports, there isn't a better final quarter team than the Rhinos this year. Oh, here's a mistake, big turning point.
Great stuff from Andy Lynch. Andy Lynch. Well, he didn't have the speed to get away from Scott Donald, but it was a steal. And the referee has called someone back for back-chatting to him on the way down. Mathers, I think.
Just calm down. You stick to your job, okay, I'll stick to mine. No, I wasn't.
Mathers has said something out of turn to Richard Silverwood. That's his signal. And the referees in this sport won't have any dissent. If they catch any of the players talking out of turn, they penalise them.
Well, Bradford desperate for that, weren't they? They couldn't stand another 5 minutes on their own line, I didn't feel. Lynch's breakdown field, and it's now on for the Bulls.
It is with Harpy. Spins out of one challenge. Lauatiti manages to put him down. Stanley Jean again. Here is Paul Deacon. Now it's with Justin Harris. This is the test of the Leeds defence, all right. Now it's Michael Withers. He almost got over in the corner. Marcus By to Carl Price, the big man chancing his arm, backing himself, and Leeds muscling up in defence. That's 3 tackles gone. Stuart Fielden's the dummy half here. Now it's with Justin Harris. Harris, oh, brilliant from Harris! Great try from Justin Harris. That is a fantastic try from the Welshman. He will enjoy that moment, Justin Harris, the former Leeds captain, a legend here, 4 years, almost 1,500 points, 4th on the all-time points chart for the Leeds Rhinos, and he has come up with a vital try at a great stage of the match for his team.
And it all started by that steal from Lynch, got him way downfield, gave away the penalty, and then they took full advantage. He's still got the quality. Okay, he may not have the speed, but there was a steal from Lynch, and he had the wherewithal to get through to it. Back on the inside, just dip the shoulder, that's all you have to do. And it's things like that that can just change the game. Never mind the Harris try, it was a Lynch steal that started it.
Well, we can see the length of the field that they travelled, and then Bradford's gone. It has a range of about 10 metres. Harris, with the aid of 2 inside runners, managed to stand up the Leeds defence, and strength took him through the gap for the try.
Deacon to add the extras and level it all up again. No problems for Paul Deacon. It's 12 apiece here at Headingley. And Andy Lynch with the steal, Justin Harris with the try, Paul Deacon with the goal. We are level pegging.
And fully deserved. They know that is a captain's knock when they were under the cosh. A lot of pressure.
Lynch was the man who stole the ball from Ryan Bailey.
Not only that, but he had the wherewithal, Eddie, to make sure. He knew that he didn't have the legs to go all the way, but he whooped them in a position where they could launch it. And it's the first chance that they've had in this second stanza, and they've scored.
And they were aided by the back-chatting from Richard Mathers as well, which will not please coach Tony Smith.
Well, not many coaches like that, to give away what they call stupid penalties, and it is.
Well, it's easy yards, isn't it? I know that Lynch did well, but they were up there with 6 tackles to go.
And all of a sudden they look like the World Club champions again, don't they? 5-6 metres, look at that, quick play of the ball, dominating the collision. Harris offload, here goes Jean.
Brilliant ball from Harris to Stanley Jean, weaving run. Low, and it bounces kindly for Andy Lynch. They're stretched out wide. Lynch backing himself, taking on Burrow and company. And Lynch is held up just short of the line. They had so many men on the overlap down the left, Bradford. Maybe it should have gone wide. What can they get from this? It's with Langley, now it's with Deacon, a kick wide, looking for big Carl Price, looking for Marcus By! Marcus By with the try for Bradford! Has the referee given it? Checks with the touch judges, yes he has! A wonderful crossfield kick, and Marcus By back at Headingley after his winter move from Leeds to Bradford, and he has edged the Bulls ahead again. Marcus By, the Papua New Guinea international, very popular here in his time at Headingley, not very popular with the South Standers right now.
Well, they were caught out, Leeds. They knew surely that Deacon was going to opt for a kick. They went into the corner and he just took it on the full. He was under no real pressure. It was an absolutely wonderful, wonderful kick into the corner. Nothing that Danny Williams could do about it. He was left a little bit inexperienced and short there.
Well, they managed to travel the length of the field through that power, and I know Paul Deacon's a big fan of golf, and it's almost like a hole-in-one. He put the ball exactly where Marcus By wanted it to come down. The player staying onside for the chase, took it in both arms and scored in the corner. All of a sudden the game has swung in favour of the Bradford Bulls, and we're looking for a response from the Rhinos.
This 2006 squad of Bradford includes no less than 5 former Leeds men. Deacon has missed with the conversion. There's Harris, there's By, there's McKenna who's broken his jaw. They're all playing tonight. Marcus St-Hilaire, we're waiting for his appearance off the bench, and of course Terry Newton comes into the picture after suspension over Easter. And would you believe that 2 of them, Harris and By, in the last 4 minutes, have just put Bradford in the ascendancy against their former clubs.
And fully deserved. You take advantage of it. The inexperience there of Danny Williams certainly showing. He should have gone really away back and give himself plenty of room. He didn't, and Deacon and Marcus Bai have made them pay.
Bradford with their tails up as we approach the three-quarter mark of this match. And Stanley Jean from dummy half fires the ball to Deacon again. He's inside the 40-metre zone. If this is a kind bounce, it could have been a 40-20. But here is Mathers, looking to make amends for the back-chatting to the referee that gifted Bradford all that territory not long ago.
Good option as well from Bradford, kicking on the third tackle. When you do that, you'll guarantee that there's not many wingers would have gone back, expecting the kick so early in the tackle count. And that's all they've got to do, is make sure that they get their basics right. Good kick and chase, and just force Leeds into playing panic catch-up football.
We've got more injury news from Bill.
Well, Ben Harris just about to come back for the Bulls by the look of things. He got a bang in the ribs, went off for some treatment, but he is able to return. Opposite number 3, Chev Walker, not so lucky. He picked up a knee injury in that first half. He tried to run it off, and the decision has been made to bring him off. So Walker's sitting on the sidelines. This is building up just like the academy game did beforehand. The Bulls 12-0 down in that, came back to win it 18 points to 16. Could be on for another close finish.
Absolutely, and Danny Maguire's mistake means head and feet at the scrum to Bradford. And they go down the left-hand side with Shontaine Harvey. Rob Burrow with the tackle, importantly. Here's Leslie Vinacolo, the rampaging ball. And not standing square Leeds. Bradford have another penalty here.
And that was brought about by quick thinking by Vinacolo. He definitely ran at Burrows, knowing that they had not got back. And Burrows had not got back into a position, so therefore he was not standing square. Great work from the winger, Vinacolo. Picked him out quite easy. Gained another 25 metres under the cosh of the Rhinos, when it looked at a point where they were just going to boss this game.
Harris's pass finds Carl Price. Justin Harris, by the way, who put that pass in. Normally he makes 11 tackles in a match. There he is on the ball again, finds Andy Lynch. Tonight Justin Harris has made 19 tackles already. Incredible effort from the former Leeds skipper. No wonder he's on top form though, coming back here. This is Joe Vangenaar. Here is Stanley Jean.
So close. He reckons he's scored. He'll go to the screen, surely.
And the referee will go to the screen. He's asked the video referee, Robert Connolly, and Stanley is convinced he scored the try. Stanley Jean believes he's got the ball down here.
Pretty hard to tell at this point in time. Is it up? I think it's short.
Well, Stanley's appealing.
Yeah, you can't blame him. But I think he's short.
Mathers' hand is underneath there.
It's a great try, but when I say try, not as in TRY,
great effort, yeah.
Great effort. I don't think he's got this down.
No, it's short of the line, isn't it? But there aren't many who go with more determination to get over that line when they pick it up from there, Steve-O.
No.
He takes some stopping.
Well, we've said it so many times. Few eyebrows were raised when they bought this fella. Brian Noble said that he would do them a good job, and boy, he has done just that.
I remember the week of the World Club Challenge, he had a knee operation and played 6 days after it. He really is one tough human being.
Yeah, I think the arm has gone underneath. I think you'll find that Bailey's underneath there with his right arm. This should be N-O-T-R-Y.
Well, it's Robert Connolly's decision that matters. Stanley thinks he has scored. Robert Connolly, what say you?
Well, they still have to play the ball.
He thought he tried. He thought he'd scored. But it's the fourth tackle. And here is Deacon, and back it comes to Langley. This is Withers, inside one. Can't get away from that. That's great Leeds defence. They were under the post a moment ago. Now they're 12, 13 metres shy of them as Jean finds Deacon. Here's the kick again. Oh, it's ricocheted. Oh, back to one though. Back to one. It's called the charge down. So more pressure. It's Stanley Jean again. It's Big Joe Vangenaar.
Second move!
Well, the charge down and that decision from Richard Silverwood could be crucial. Here is Justin Harris. Short ball.
That was a shocker.
Oh, that was, and they have given the opportunity away.
Well, no advantage at all, and you can see there that Ellis had gone right into the face of Brett Ferris. This is the charge down. He's got it right, you know. Definitely Willie Poaching went for that football. Referee Richard Silverwood has had a tremendous game.
Survival of the fittest out there at the moment, Stephen. I don't know whether the Rhino or the Bulls going to last a full 80 minutes. Really are testing both sides. Leeds hanging on there for desperation.
17 minutes, just less than, to go as Williams goes down the line for Leeds, but that's great defence from Marcus Bai.
Good sliding defence. Made sure that when they made the impact, he tried to get rid of it. It was too late. And it leaves the Bulls in a very good attacking position. 40 metres out from the Leeds line. Well, it's amazing how one thing can just turn the game. And Mr. Lynch has done it for the Bulls so far. That steal and that race downfield, 50 metres, was sufficient to just lift the spirit of the Bulls.
Harpy tries to go inside Scott Donald, and Donald, to his credit, hangs on to his shorts somehow. Here is Deacon. Crowd's just hushed a bit here in the south stand. That went backwards. Vanganar retains the possession for the Bulls. Here is Brett Ferris. Langley's on his shoulder, but Ferris takes it forward.
All they've got to do now, they've got that 4 points lead. They've got to get into a good position, make sure that they kick into the in-goal area. Try to get that repeat 6. Oh, that won't help them. That's a knock-on.
It is by Joe Vanganar. The ball coming back the other way from Deacon.
Well, there are times when to just slip an inside ball, and I'm afraid that was not it. He was well attended, was the big fella. Put in a big effort. His coach Brian Noel will be pleased with that.
Poor old Brian, his mind must be in turmoil at the moment, mustn't it? I mean, all the talk about Wigan, watching his team here tonight, taking on the old enemy from Leeds.
Oh, come on, Eddie, he's a pro. The only thing that'll be going through his mind is to make sure that Bradford pick up the 2 points. That's what he's paid for, and that's what he'll be trying to do.
I know he's a pro, but he is also a human being, Steve-O, and St Helens against Wigan. Good Friday, 12:30. He, I'm sure, with the rest of us, will be glued to that. And on Wednesday, by the way, boots and all, 6 o'clock on Sky Sports Extra next Wednesday. Every single try scored over this Easter programme, both here and in Australia. 8 o'clock on Sky Sports 2, by the way, if the 6 o'clock time slot on Sky Sports Extra is a little bit too early for you. Here is Maguire. That's a hanging kick. Williams underneath it, palms it down. Mathers! That's going to be a try for Leeds. The referee will give it to Bob Connolly to check out, but I think it was a brilliant palm back by Danny Williams. The ball hung in this wind, and Williams just flicked it back, and Mathers was the right man in the right place at the right time. I think that the scores are going to be level.
I think you're right. It certainly went back, irrespective of who got a touch to it, whether it be Marcus Bai or Williams. And the fullback Richard Mathers will be awarded this TRY. Just checking to see if he's onside, and he is, no doubt about that. He looked to see where it comes. Did he get a fingertip to it? Is it the momentum rule? Oh, we throw everything in here.
Well, I think it's off Marcus Bai,
it's gone
actually.
backwards.
Or if it hasn't, it's come off.
It's gone backwards.
Come off Williams and gone backwards.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with the touchdown. Mathers believes he's scored.
So do I.
Which means, of course, he's made amends for the back-chatting to the referee. Bradford watching anxiously on. Leeds a level. Richie Mathers, aided and abetted by Danny Williams. Well, I wouldn't like to place any bets on who's going to win this in the last 10 minutes or so. It really is now a matter of stamina and fitness and resolve.
Certainly is, and they went for the option of the high kick. It was superb from Danny Maguire. As Eddie mentioned, in the swirling wind, it just hung there. He got the bounce of the ball, and boy, from a man who gave a penalty away for being a big mouth, has become a hero, a big hero. Leveson scores. This is an important conversion.
It is, but it's difficult against the wind. Now then, this is a test of Burrow as a kicker. Oh, he's just pushed it in front of the posts. Difficult. 16 all. Sit down. Fasten your seatbelts. Don't leave this.
This game is going to have everything, Eddie. We've seen strong running, good passing, great kicking and some terrific defence. On this occasion, the knockback there just went in favour of Mathers. Yestin Harris had worked really hard off the ball to get there when the ball came down, but it bounced in favour of a Leeds player, and it's gone 16 all.
And that is an error.
It's a fantastic kick-off from Paul Deacon. He drilled that all along the deck, and with the wind behind him, the ball bobbled and bounced. And look at this last bounce. Bang! There's nothing that Mathers could do about that.
It's amazing, Eddie. You know, over the years, I wish I had one strand of hair for every mistake that they do from the kickoff, and I would, well, I'd be matching yours.
Well, you say mistake. I think that was a fantastic kickoff.
There was nothing Leeds could do, Steve-O. It was a great kick. He put it into space.
It's still classed as an error, Phil. You know that.
Well, on the stats it is, but it's like when you take 4 on a golf course on a par 4. It's not how you've got them, it's the score on the card. Because you've normally have taken 6 or 7.
You've got me confused now.
This is danger time now for Leeds. Within that 10-metre zone, Eddie, you know what the Bulls can do.
Absolutely, this is a dangerous period of the match, but 3 tackles gone. Here is Yestin Harris. Now it's Ben Harris on the angled run. Test of the Leeds resolve here. Never had a draw in Super League between these two before. Here is Yestin Harris. This is Andy Lynch.
I don't think we're going to have one tonight either. Will they go for the 1 point, or will they go for the try? They're going for it. Oh, it's a gift.
It was a gift. And
Good work, though.
It was to Danny Maguire that Paul Deacon's little kick found its way to.
Well, I would have been setting up for the 1 point, the field goal.
Well, this is certainly the time at 16 all, isn't it? Here's Williams.
Great tackle there by Marcus Bai. He shut the youngster down nearly every occasion. I think if Leeds get the opportunity, they will not miss.
What a ball from Peacock. What a ball from Senior. Maguire is cut down by Marcus Bai.
Could have been a penalty. He's allowed play on Silverwood because the Leeds have got the momentum.
It's with Ali Lauatiti. Still going, the big fella. That's the last one, though.
They've got to go for it. Maguire's shouted for it. Will he go?
No, it's a dink towards the in-goal area. They're looking for an extra set. They're looking for an extra set. Leslie Vainicolo does so well. The strength of the man. He took 3 of them over the line with him.
At this stage in the game, Eddie, that's almost worth a try. To get back out into the field of play, avoid the goal line dropout. You can just tell the game's gone up another level here now in the next 10 minutes.
It was a difficult one as well because that ball was travelling with some speed. He could have made a decision to say, will it go dead in goal? He didn't. He took the best option. Ball in hand, made sure he got in the field of play. Excellent stuff.
Will Deacon be tempted to kick early? Yes. Oh, it bounced off Jamie Jones-Buchanan and he's ruled a charge down. It's 6 to go for Bradford. Here's Ben Harris. This now Carl Price. And it was a charge down. Here is Marcus Bai.
I must say he's in top form, isn't he? Richard Silverwood, the official.
No, get off!
He's played his part tonight.
On halfway, Stanley Jean. Stuart Fielden. Fielden on the half break. And he couldn't get the ball
Oh,
away.
he's lost it.
He has lost it, and he's furious. He's furious with Richard Silverwood. He is absolutely furious. He says this ball was stolen from him.
I think he might be right as well.
No way. What's the ball?
Yeah, there's the hand. He has been kidded.
Jamie Peacock.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's very rare I give praise to a referee. I do it and he misses it. To be fair, it was difficult. He doesn't have the advantage of the instant replay.
Jamie Peacock and Stuart Fielden having a right set to with each other at the scrum then. They were colleagues just 12 months ago. Burrow. Stanley Jean came out of nowhere.
Yeah, but Barrow was looking for that support. It's been very poor. Now then, surely they've got to be thinking about it. One more drive, get set up.
It's Senior. Well, they'll have to work it in towards the middle of the park if they're going to have a bash at this. Burrow's there. Mathers is there. Poaching is there. Lauatiti gets the ball away and only finds touch.
They've blown it. I know he's not a great fancier of the 1 point, Tony Smith.
I think he would be now.
I'm sure.
I think he'd settle for it now.
Sheer panic when you need a clear head. Calm and cool and collected, but I'm afraid he just went right out of the window there.
8 minutes to go. Deacon. Ben Harris. Gobbled up by Senior.
Yeah. Senior's done that much tackling that number 4 is nearly ripped away from his shirt. He's been involved.
Marcus Barr, Yestin Harris humps it downfield. Scott Donald's after this. That's a great kick.
Good play by Donald as well. Remember, they're kicking early. That was only the 3rd tackle. And Donald thought,
this is even better.
Oh, he's
This is
supposed to
even
be
better.
the fastest in the game.
Good tackle, Michael Withers. Important tackle, Michael Withers.
Finished off by Stanley Jean. No chance of an offload.
Danny Maguire. Yet to come alive, really. Yet to spark in this match.
Bulls did well again, Eddie, by getting back quickly. Once the line's been broken, everything works at full pace to get back. And they have to do because Leeds can strike. Oh, there's the interception.
Knock on.
It's a knock-on by Adam Watini. I think it was his knock-on just off the deck. Nothing wrong with this. There it is.
I think you'll find it's Ben Harris, I do believe, that has been deemed to have just got the fingertip to it.
I think that ball went backwards off Ben Harris.
Either way, it's head and feed.
That's okay.
No, that's it. Oh, well, yeah. Well,
Maybe Watini just.
I'm not so sure. Either way, it's... surely Tony Smith has got the message out. Come on, fellas. There's 2 big sticks there with a crossbar in between them. Just go for it. Oh, that was
That's
a high one.
They don't need to go for
No,
it now.
they'll go for the 2.
They can go for the 2 here.
That was
Feather
silly.
didn't like it. Feather still doesn't like it, and Fielden's lost his rag. It was a high shot.
No doubt about it, but this is not an easy penalty.
No, not in this win.
We saw the attempt of the conversion from the Mathers try, and Fielden is pointing. Stanley Jean is trying to just calm him down. And I think we've got to say that the official has to say, come on, fellas, hold it, come here. You go back, let's hear what he says.
He's not going to say anything, he just wants them away from each other because it's a penalty to Leeds. And the referee has asked Rob Burrow, and the penalties for the high shot by Adam Watini.
Well, he hasn't done his coach Brian Noble any favours. It's Adam Watini. He's given away some silly penalties. And you can see there that Feather and Fielden exchanging a few words. Wisdom, no doubt.
Ronnie don't watch.
Well, whatever happens with it, it won't be the end of the game, Eddie. 2 points, 5 minutes means nothing in rugby league.
Well, but Rob Burrow knows how important this kick is just the same. It's not for the win, but it's for a little bit of daylight and the possibility of a win. Anxious moments, local bragging rights at stake here. Under the wind, he's kicked it.
Now the message will be out from Tony Smith. I want you all back. Make sure that the ball doesn't go dead in goal from the kickoff. Get them down, he's saying. Make sure. They're a little bit sparse there.
I'll tell you what, it's sparse. The ball at the moment, I don't know where all the ball boys have gone, but Deacon's been waiting. His kicking tee's set up.
I'll tell you what, Phil, Leeds are setting up for the short kickoff.
Yes, they are.
They're over on that light side because now then it looks as though he's going to go for the high one. just over that 10-metre, or will he do what he did in the first place? They've dropped back, he's going for the big kick. He's done it again!
Brilliant from Deacon. Brilliant kicking from Paul Deacon.
They stacked out that right-hand side. Look, you'll see the Leeds player running back, trying to help. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic from this fella.
I think Chris Feather had to have a go at that, didn't it? Even if he'd lost the possession, it was still going to be a goal line dropout.
Brilliantly taken by Stuart Fielden as well.
Not only that, that was a good little drop out there from Leeds. That nearly went into touch on the bounce.
This is Brett Ferris. 4.5 minutes to go. Andy Lynch finds Deacon, finds Justin Harris. Justin Harris wide to Carl Price. Big Carl Price. Oh, he flipped the ball back and it's found its way to touch. Now, did it come off a Leeds man? Did he make a play for the ball, or did it play the man? I think this might be head and feet to Bradford. No, it isn't.
No. He loses possession, though that means that the ball has made contact. He knows how close it is. Ryan Noble. It was a good effort. Not many opportunities with the big fella.
They'll probably get 2 more possessions though, won't they, before the end of this game? 4 minutes. Usually it takes about a minute to have your 6 tackles in rugby league, so it's just where Bradford get possession because they need it close to Leeds' line.
Well, I think the gentlemen of the press are prepared to take a gamble. I think they're prepared to name their man of the match 3.5 minutes before the end, and it could all turn yet, Dave, but who have you gone for?
Well, we've gone for somebody, and like you say, it might well change. There's a big push for Andy Lynch, honourable mentions for Stanley Jean, Justin Harris, Jamie Jones-Buchanan for that wonderful piece of skill in the first half. But the man we've gone for, he's been terrific in defence. He scored a wonderful try, and he's kicked the goals that matter. Rob Burrow, our man of the match tonight.
Little Rob Burrow gets the Gillette Sports Pack then. And will he go home tonight with the 2 points that will take Leeds, albeit maybe temporarily, to the top of the table? That kick from Maguire's gone straight up in the air. Oh, it's knocked out. Maguire! Maguire following up, and it's 6 to go for Leeds.
Made a right meal of it.
Here is Mathers, not the best pass. Stanley Jean was after him. Mathers! Hauled down by Michael Withers. Oh, Millard. Well, I think he was trying for a penalty because he was reaching over Withers in the ruck, and then he went for it himself. Here is Maguire on the bounce and out.
Well, that's sheer panic, but they don't need to do that. Remember, they are the team in front. Bradford is sprinting to get this pack set, and in doing so forces the referee Richard Silverwood to call time off. Why did they have to panic to try to score when all they had to do was try to just keep all the possession, make sure that Bradford keep well down there and get the ball back? We know that Bradford are capable of doing the full length of the field try.
Here is Justin Harris. He has to take the tackle. 2 minutes to go.
Eddie, does it get any better than this?
Fantastic, isn't it? Absolutely terrific. Ferris and Ben Harris. Ben Harris has Carl Price wide, and Carl Price is clattered to the ground on tackle number 3. 2 points the difference, 17,700 in here. They're spellbound by this. I'm sure that you're enjoying it at home too. They've got Harpy wide. Shantaine Harpy. Here's Leslie Barnacolo. And this is Stuart Fielden. Now it's Justin Harris. Here is Paul Deacon. Wide it goes. Brett Ferris! Brett Ferris to Bradford! Brett Ferris to win the match for the Bradford Bulls. The young man of just 19 years of age, Brett Ferris. And that is a fantastic night for Brian Noble and Bradford. Brett Ferris with the try. And I don't think even he can believe it. Bradford deservedly have come up with the winning points, and Brett Ferris, this is his first full game. He'll remember this for years to come.
Well, they tested arm, the good combination between the two halfbacks, Justin Harris and Paul Deacon and Ferris, and it all came about with that silly pass from Maguire when there were 2 points in front. All they had to do was keep down that end, Well taken by Ferris. It has stunned this Headingley crowd, but it has made that man very happy indeed. They can't believe it. Leeds in a position where they take control, and for some unknown reason they virtually pass it to nobody over the touchline.
Well, Deacon has missed with the goal, and look at that, Brian Noble and Tony Smith side by side. Chris McKenna with the broken jaw suspected, but they have won. And Steve McNamara and Brian Noble embrace, and so do the players on the field. Brett Ferris's try has won the match for the Bradford Bulls. 20 points to 18, they have won it. Leeds, their attempt to leapfrog the Saints to the top of the table has been stalled by the champions. And if this is to be Brian Noble's last match in charge of the Bulls, what a way to bow out. A victory at Headingley in the backyard of their oldest and fiercest enemies, and a match that looked 4 minutes from time as though it had swung Leeds' way, with the penalty goal from Rob Burrow comes back in Bradford's hands, courtesy of young Brett Ferris. It's only his second appearance for the Bradford Bulls for Brett Ferris, his first full match. What a game, 17,700 enjoyed it. No one more than this fellow, Brett Ferris with Bill.
Brett, I don't think you can believe that, can you?
I can't believe it. It's unbelievable. It's good enough to be playing in a game like this, but to score last try as well, oh, it's awesome. Brilliant.
And did you think, hand on heart, did you think it was going to come?
Well, we've been working hard all week. We've worked our socks off in this game. I think we deserved it, and just played a bit dumb in between some sets and that, but to win that is great.
Have a look at the screen. There you go. Relive the moment.
I've been watching that a few times, Mum and Dad and my girlfriend tonight, and my sister. Great.
You just went for it, didn't you?
Yeah, I didn't want to pass, I was a bit timid to pass, so I thought I'd just go. It's great.
Now, you didn't have a grip on the game, but you had a lead, and then it looked as though Leeds had wrested that grip from you, and you'd let the game go away.
Yeah, we had a few dumb sets, we had a few dumb penalties, errors and that, and let Leeds back into the game, but all credit to the lads and that, but they dug it in there. Come out with a great win.
And when you saw Chris McKenna going off with a broken jaw, and Ben Harris went off for one moment, Jamie Langley limped off, and it must have seemed as though it wasn't going to be your night.
A bit unfair to us really, but all 17 put a big effort in tonight, and just glad we came out on top really. Just awesome, great win.
Well, well done tonight, Brett.
Thanks a lot.
Well, let's have a word with the Bulls coach, Brian Noble, who's coming up behind us. Well, never in doubt.
Well, I don't know. I thought we played really, really well tonight. We were a bit busted up, you know, we've hung on in there in the second half, you know, we kept trying to beat ourselves at the end of the field, but just knew that if we could get that side, and right at the end there I could see it. So I'm really, really pleased for them, and I'm pleased that Leeds, you know, played their part as well. What a super game of rugby it was.
And it was a real seesaw contest, because you seemed to have a grip on the game, they got the grip back, and then it really was in the balance.
Well, that's what the game's about, isn't it? What a fantastic product we've got, and again, I can only reinforce that Leeds have played their part tonight, but our boys, busted or not, showed the belief to get down to the other end of the field right at the end there, and you know, a pleasing win. And I think if everybody looked at the game, perhaps we just deserved it.
If it was your final game in charge, not a bad way to bow out. Any comment?
No.
Okay, fair enough.